This is it. The finale. Abu Dhabi. This could be the final ever episode if we win the Constructors' Championship. So, guys, if you haven't seen the entire season or the last episode, all of that will be linked in the top right or down below in the playlist. So go check that out, guys, and get up to speed, or at least watch the last episode as there are spoilers ahead. So, here we go. Abu Dhabi, guys. If you're excited for the finale, let's smash the like button. Let's try to smash over 1,000 likes. If you're new to the channel and you watch my content every time, then please subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'm very close to 100,000 subs now, guys, and I want to try and reach that goal by the end of the year. Now, this weekend, no rain forecast, no upgrades, which you'd expect with a regulation change on the way, and also the cars now being pretty much maxed out. But here is the championship. Red Bull versus McLaren versus Mercedes. 3 points is the difference. If we win the Constructors, we achieve the goal of returning McLaren to glory. We also have an outside shot of winning the Drivers' Championship, but we are 17 points behind Max Verstappen. It's been a very tough, very consistent season from various teams at different points, and the key thing here, only 2 retirements. Russell in Monza and Verstappen also in Monza. Literally, those are the only mechanical or retirements they've had, all season long. It's actually insane how bulletproof these cars are, and that's why we're also not going to change components. I have a whole new engine available, which is fresh, but I do not want to risk having a potential engine issue, so we're going to stick with what we know, which works, and we're going to hopefully see if that is the right choice. Practice went very smooth, no dramas, tyre wear very low, fuel consumption very good, and we bring our points total to just under 10,000 points. So practice is done for the season. If we have to continue, if we don't win the championship, then we'll spend those points on protecting as many upgrades as possible for season 4. So that's the plan moving forward. For now though, let's focus on the episode and let's get into qualifying. Here we go. Q1. Hopefully this runs smooth. We have a nice easy session and we can get through, hit our targets, and crucially get fast by the end in Q3 and have a decent grid slot. So here we go. Underway, currently on our banker lap in Q1. Not too sure what we're looking at pace wise. It's a hard track to tell, but generally we are down in sector 1. The AI are very fast there with straight line speed, but we are very fast in sector 3 as you look at the minimap on the left side going purple. So P3, eventually that became P9, and Norris in P8, Verstappen setting the pace, but all the usual suspects are up there: Mercedes, Red Bull, Aston Martin, Ferrari. So it's a pretty standard Q1. Into Q2, fresh set of tyres on the car, looking to hopefully go a step beyond what we've done in Q1 and go a bit quicker. First lap on the board is at 18.9, which is P5 and purple in sector 3, but 3/10 off Lando Norris, and I wasn't fully happy with that lap. There was a small mistake in the turn 5 hairpin, which we're going to come up to now. So I'm actually going to push for 2 consecutive laps and go back to back and see if I can try and shave off some lap time. And you'll see here we sacrificed a bit of the entry to get a better exit, and you can see now we found some time. So we kept on pushing. I found some more through the chicane between the 2 back straights, and we're now 3/10 up, and that is going to move us to P4, purple sector 3, and that should do the job for us as we jump into Q3 with 1 minute 18.6. So both myself and Lando, very similar pace, just like in Q1. Leclerc with a pretty strong benchmark at 118.1, and just like in Qatar, if he races back, Drogovic P2 showing some real pace in the Aston Martin. So here we go. It's time for the most important part of the weekend so far, Q3. 18.6 is the minimum benchmark, which is our Q2 time to try and beat in Q3. I actually upped the front wing by 1, and I'm also gambling on the brake bias to see if I can find some better balance. And we set a 118.4 on the first lap, P7, which isn't too bad. Again, purple in sector 3, which is where we're strongest. And you can see back in the garage, we're now 8th place as Perez set his lap. Norris P3, Russell leads the way with the only man in the 117s, which is insane. So for the final run, we had a bit of traffic issues. I was trying to find some space on track to start my lap, and also both Red Bulls and Lando Norris did not go out, as Russell improves again to a 1:17.7. So the benchmark has been set yet again. We have to find 7 tenths to even match it. So we're going to give it everything and see what happens. And this time I went even lower on the brake bias to try and get some more rotation. Hopefully we don't lock the rear. So far it's looking pretty good. Turn 5, braking just after the 50, down to 3rd gear. Important to get a late apex and get the drive and the acceleration out of here as we get the power down and open the DRS down the back straight. Now then, take a breather, prepare the braking zone, try to brake as late as possible. With these cars you can brake around 80 meters, I'd say, and we're going to slam it down to 3rd gear, sacrifice the left to open the right, and make sure you get the power down, use all the exit curb and get the drive as we find a 10th.5, which is a pretty big chunk of time to get in Q3. Now into sector 3, making our way through the long left, currently 3 tenths down on Piastri and P6, but this is where we are strongest, so we'll see as we find even more time. This looks pretty decent. Into the hotel section, 4th gear, broke a little bit early there, could have broken a bit later. Now under the hotel, and we're going to have a slight moment as the back end slides away on traction input, and now making our way into the final couple of corners, trying to close out the lap, and we are going to improve by 2 tenths of a second, but it's only P6. It's not a top 4, top 3, which is what I was hoping for, and we have a wild card in the mix in the form of Carlos Sainz in P4. So Mercedes, especially George Russell, last season's runner-up, setting the benchmark. 1-2 finish in qualifying, and they look strong. Verstappen, the best he could do was P3. Perez only P8. So that's quite interesting. The Red Bulls are a little bit split up, and we are on the 3rd row, both of us. Lando just out-qualifies me. 118.1 for him, 118.2 for me. I reckon I could have improved without that mistake, but I don't know if it would have got Lando's time. It would have been really, really close. Either way, P5 was the absolute maximum I could have got. But guys, the scene is set. 3 points between the 3 teams, and we go into this race with every single car in the top 8, and it's all to play for. Predictions down below. Let's get into the race.
So here we are, ready to go racing for one final time this year. Another season of victories, controversies and rivalries lies in our wake. And just one challenge remains, here in the United Arab Emirates, on a circuit that made its spectacular debut back in 2009. Welcome to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We have 16 corners here at the Yas Marina circuit, 7 to the right and 9 to the left. It's a total lap distance of 3.28 miles, 2 long straights and overtaking opportunities throughout the lap. We expect average speeds of around 123 miles per hour. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Sainz, Norris, Martinez, Oscar Piastri, Perez, Drugovich, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Ocon, Ricciardo, Joe, Albon, Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, Hülkenberg, Tsunoda and Logan Sargent. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And alongside me once again for coverage of today's race is none other than the great Anthony Davidson. They've been involved in a number of costly incidents lately. That's got to affect their mindset going into this race.
Certainly confidence is an important factor. And every time you're involved in an incident, it's not just the car you damage, but that confidence as well. But all the top racing drivers are able to tune that out when the race gets underway and focus on the job at hand.
Here we go then. Time for the final race, possibly of the series, depending on the outcome of this race. So, Mercedes 1-2. They are first and second, looking very strong, especially in one lap pace in qualifying. Verstappen P3, and then we have a wild Ferrari in the mix, and then it's myself and Lando in P6 and P5 respectively. Perez is a bit further back, so he's kind of in the mix, but just slightly out of the equation, and we'll see if he kind of fights back in the race. Either way, all the favourites, all the contenders are up the sharp end. The gap is 3 points Just 3 points. Mercedes, Red Bull, and ourselves. It's going to be super close. So let's get into it and let's see what happens. A race win is going to be key if we can get it, because the gap from first to second is already 7 points. And who knows, the fastest lap may play a factor here, so we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. Anyway, let's see what happens. Strategy, we're going to start on the medium. That is what the game is recommending. I feel like we may try a soft. I might have a look, but it depends. I've got to try and have a good start to the race, have a good first stint. I was tempted to start on hard, but I don't know if I want to gamble because we need to be strong in Sector 3. We're not very quick in Sector 1, which could cost us DRS, which is important. So I'm running a little bit less front wing compared to qualifying, so I can basically try and keep up in the straight. And yeah, fuel-wise, we're running exactly the practice amount. So we're pretty much very fine on fuel. I'm taking a bit of a risk running it on the limit, but yeah. The key thing is race start, guys. We've had some good race starts, so I'm hoping one more good race start to get us in the top 3 and we can fight. Anyway, let's get into it, guys. Prediction down below. Are we going to win? Like the episode. Let's try and smash over 1,000 likes and subscribe if you're new to my channel, guys. Please, we're very close to 100k now. If you want to help me get there, I would massively appreciate it. So, tyre compounds. Before we start off, Perez on softs. I think I saw Verstappen on softs on the grid. Mercedes unknown, but I'm going to guess they're on medium. Right, here we go. 3 seasons, and it's come down to this. Lights out and away we go. It's not a good start from Sainz. Not able to get through there, and everyone holding a position. Piastri on the outside, but we'll just get back in front. Perez losing a position to Fernando Alonso. Further back, Verstappen now challenging one of the Mercs, that is Charles Leclerc. So I'm assuming they are on mediums. Let's see then, what does the straight line speed look like? I've, like I said, lowered my front wing to try and give myself a chance, but seems like we're still a bit vulnerable. Taking nice and easy into the chicane. Piastri tries to hold on, but we'll leave space and go around the outside. We've had a good exit out of here, although you can just see we're losing a little bit in acceleration and top end, so I can't challenge. And now you see Lando visibly getting the burners on, trying to make a move. Verstappen into second place, overtaking Leclerc. That's interesting. With Perez out of position, Verstappen maybe winning this race would not be the worst scenario in the world, but we have to try and at least get a 2-3. We have to get up there. Sainz is the wild card here, which I'm not sure what's going to happen. Alonso, Piastri battling behind. So that could be interesting. That might break the pack up, and also that's going to cost Perez some valuable time. Russell driving off into the sunset. As up ahead, it looks like everyone's going to form a bit of a line now behind Max. Carlos Sainz putting a move on Leclerc. This could be interesting. Ferrari showing a bit of pace in the finale, and Sainz goes for the lunge on Verstappen. So this is really allowing Russell to pull away. I'm trying to see if Lando's going to get involved here. I've had a decent exit. I'm going to try and see if I can pass. I feel like I've got to get this move done to get involved. Around the outside of our teammate. Perez up to P7 now, so he's making progress as we pull off a lovely move around the outside of our own teammate. And now we can start to mix it up here with these guys. Oh my god, that was close. Right, DRS enabled. So this should be interesting now. We could potentially be ahead of all 3 of these guys by the end of the next straight if things go our way. Leclerc and Verstappen side by side. Sainz lurking. We get a beautiful cutback on the Ferrari, and now we're going to get the run. Leclerc, Verstappen going at it. That Merc has got some serious straight line speed as Verstappen goes back through. Sector 3, we are so strong. If I can get ahead, I can probably drop them through here. I'll try to drop them. Leclerc getting the run of Verstappen, but he's not going to go for it. He's going to wait for the DRS, which is logical, but now we are going to get a chance here to get involved. I want to try and see if I can clear them both. Verstappen moves across at the last second on Leclerc there. And Leclerc losing valuable momentum into the chicane. We go on being lunged by Lando, who's going for the move on Sainz. And now we have to wait our turn as we are boxed in. Verstappen, no DRS. He's going to probably defend the inside, so we'll box Leclerc in. And we're going to go to the outside. Sainz up to P5 now. It's all kicking off, but we're through into second place. Russell, 5 seconds up the road. Let's see if I can get a bit of a gap in this final sector, which we're going to need as we try to defend from DRS zones. Good hotel section there, but I don't know if we've got enough of a gap, to be fair. Good final corner as well, personal best. This is where the AI usually pull you back in. Although Leclerc had a pretty poor turn 1, to be fair, so we might be okay. Just saw there's a Ferrari in the pit lane, and Norris is now P5, so that tells me Sainz possibly got damage. Could be wrong. Perez through on Norris. Verstappen also out of DRS range from Leclerc now as well, so Verstappen losing a bit of pace. Himself's maybe dying off in his car. Norris still battling with Perez here. Personal best, we've nearly got it. Don't know if we'll fully drop Leclerc out of DRS range, but it's going to be close. Hope Leclerc holds on. Okay, now we've got the gap. Excellent chicane. Norris in a Red Bull sandwich. That's the best we can hope for right now. We should be able to drop Leclerc this time.
Okay, safety car deployed. Safety car's been deployed. Watch your delta. Make sure you keep it positive as we catch the pack. Here's some information on Hulkenberg. Okay, it looks like the problem's terminal. They're retiring the car.
I'm not going to pit unless Russell does, but I don't think he will. I think it's too early. We're going to stick to the plan. We've got a race reset, so we'll basically neutralize Russell. That gap he's got is for nothing, but we're going to resume the race in P2 and P5, which is going to help us out. Also, the Red Bull staying out, which is interesting, on their soft tyres. I don't mind this. This isn't the worst thing. It's going to help bring Russell back in, so this is going to neutralize the race. First safety car in bloody ages. You guys can do the maths on the permutations because it's too much for me to do right now. All we know is Russell's ahead of us. That's P1, and that is golden points, which we're going to need. Also, Russell currently has the fastest lap. Red Bull are going to go probably soft medium, so there's a strong chance they'll probably bag the points. So we're going to have to be wary of that. Anyway, let's get ready for the restart here. George will lead us away. And if we can get George, it's game on. He seems very quick. That's a good restart, to be fair. He caught me napping there, but we've had a good final corner.
Green flag.
Verstappen pits. Wow. So Red Bull have got that incredibly wrong, or they're trying something weird. So Perez will probably pit on the next lap then, if that's the case. Let's focus on ourselves, though. We're going to have to defend here. They are going to be very strong in these first 2 laps or lap and a half, especially using the battery. You can see Russell is really pushing here. As long as we stay within his DRS, we'll be fine. Luckily, I'm pretty strong into the chicane and also sector 3, so we've got through the worst of the lap. The rest of this now suits us pretty well. Also, Norris now P4. That's going to put him into the race. So this has worked out pretty well. And in principle, it looks like it's going to be Mercedes versus McLaren. But I could be wrong. Still some decent pace in these tyres. First lap on the restart, and we match our personal best. I've just seen on the mini-map, Perez is a long way down the order, and there's a big break in the train behind the Alpines, so I'm not sure if something happened to Checo on the restart, but Red Bull are looking in a bit of trouble right now. And just to remind you, Mercedes and McLaren, we are tied on points.
DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled.
Are we going to go for it here? Shall I go for it? Why not? Side by side. I'm actually going to not rush into this. I know when I want to pass, I want to try and see if I can get Russell when we have to box on our in-lap. I think that's going to be a good time to strike and cost him some valuable time. Also, I want to try and bring Norris back into this. He's just out of DRS range right now. So we'll try and see if I can just be a bit of a pest, a bit of a nuisance, to try and bring Norris back into play. Side by side with Russell, he runs a bit wide. We'll go around the outside here. We'll let him go with the acceleration. I think the higher wing, higher downforce is the way to go in the race. It might have cost us in qualifying, but I'm able to hold onto my tyres so much better. Okay, Lando's back into the picture now. He's got DRS on Leclerc, who's got DRS on me. Just trying to see if I can, you know, put Russell off. Trying to see if I can drop Leclerc out of DRS, which would help Norris massively. Had to extend the braking zone there on purpose to make sure Leclerc didn't get in. And this is now the in-lap, so now we're going to look to pass Russell here. We'll get nice and close into the chicane. And then we will strike on the second straight as we have done over the last few laps. This feels like George is massively struggling on tyres. A little bit of contact there.
Tyre condition still looking good.
Through we go on the inside. We'll just hang him out to dry. Hold that inside line and go through.
Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
I'm pretty comfortable on this tyre. Normally I'd stay out, but I want to keep Norris in the race, so I don't want to have him stay out another 2 laps or so. So we're going to stick to the plan and box. Get the hard tyres on. And Russell stays out, interestingly. So Leclerc's the one that pits. Okay, not bad then. We managed to get Norris up there with George, so they'll battle away now. Important pit stop. Away we go. We got held slightly there by Piastri, I think, but still ahead of Leclerc, and that's what matters.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
Traffic could play a part here. There's a lot of it. If we can put a few cars between us and Leclerc. There is Verstappen just behind Schumacher in P10. That's massive. Absolutely huge. We won't have any DRS here, and we're going to have cold tyres, so we're going to have to maybe defend from Mick. Well, that was a good exit, to be fair. So that was critical. Leclerc out behind Verstappen, so that's interesting. Lando now in the pit lane, along with Russell. We're stuck behind Sons of Ricardo.
Lando's coming in for his stop now.
Schumacher has actually kept Verstappen behind, which is really impressive. Gonna have to get a move on though. Russell Norris pit exit. Around the outside of Ricardo. It's a beautiful move. Pretty big undercut on Russell. Norris lost quite a bit of time on that in-lap. I wonder if either he got held or maybe he got damaged and had a wing change, because he was within Russell's DRS when he pit. So Norris is now behind both Mercedes and Verstappen, which is a bit of an issue. Anyway, crucially, we're net P1. Perez yet to box, so maybe he's looking at a soft tyre. But we have track position. Now, I don't know if we're going to get the best lap of the race. The fastest lap, that could be important, so we'll have to see how that goes. Russell up to P3. Let's push then. Let's try and go for a fastest lap of the race and see what we can do.
Currently, the fastest lap is at 1:21.3. Sorry, we can't provide you with that information right now.
Across the line. 20.7 and Perez pits. Right. We'll see if that is going to be enough. I'm not too sure, but one can hope. Piastri, by the way, has worked himself into P5 and it's a bit of a wild card here. Norris is just locked in behind Verstappen's really slow. The Mercedes are pretty quick. What we need right now is a Norris P4, because right now Mercedes 2.3 is a problem for us. Okay, so Mercedes are battling quite a lot actually. Piastri up to P4 now, but Merc are costing themselves time now as they're trying to choose who's going to be the one to lead. This could be interesting. Norris is fumbling it big time. Big time. He's just not getting the job done right now. Alonso's broken free, which is bad news because we need Norris in P4. So, it's not looking good, man. He still can't make progress. He's the next car now to pass Verstappen, so we'll see now if Norris passes Verstappen, he can hopefully actually drive off and not get stuck in the battle and stuck in the mud. Mercedes swap around again. So we've got a chance to pull away here. I'm running low on battery. The Mercs are quicker, but every lap or so, or 2 laps, they'll battle and they'll just cost themselves some valuable time. So I'm able to hold on, but batteries are running low now. Norris is unable to pass Verstappen. He does not have the straight line speed to catch him in back-to-back straights. There we go, Norris P5, finally. But Verstappen gets back through. This is going to be a big battle, but we need Norris at least P5. I don't know what the maths is right now. I've got to try and work it out, but until there's some sort of stability, it's pointless. Perez is now caught up as well on the reverse strap, so we'll see how that plays out. Right, Lando's breaking away. He's trying to make a move, and I think he's trying to break away from Perez as well. We'll see what kind of pace he has, though. This could be interesting. Norris is faster than Alonso. That could be a big factor here. This is going to be a tense final few laps. This could be crucial. We'll see if it is the case in 2 laps' time. Mercedes have died out now. Their pace is gone. It seems like on worn tyres, my higher wings make me faster, whereas in the fresh rubber, we're a bit slower. So, I've been doing some calculations. If we win, plus the fastest lap, that's 26 points. With Lando in P5, that makes it 36 points overall for the weekend. Mercedes, Leclerc will get 18 points. Russell 15, that makes it 33. So right now, we are in a championship winning position, but I would love Lando to get P4 just to put it beyond doubt. That would make it perfect. So right now, we're there. 2 laps remain. One last big exit out of the chicane, using the battery to keep Leclerc out of range. He's pushing big time, but it's not going to be enough. Norris also did not get close enough to Alonso, so Alonso will hold on to 4th, but I'm pretty sure, and I hope I'm correct and my maths isn't wrong, otherwise I'm going to look like an absolute idiot, but I think we are in a championship winning position. So let's confirm it as we cross the line, and hopefully this is true. But if so, after 3 seasons, I hope this is now McLaren back in glory.
Oh, superb driving. That is the race win, my friend. Well done.
And so the celebrations begin, and well earned they are indeed. It might have looked simple at times, but as any racing driver will tell you, competing at this level at the very top is anything but simple. There's no catching them now then. We have a new World Drivers' Champion. Victory today then, but bittersweet emotions, I'm sure, as the championship slips through their fingers. Even so, what a fantastic final race of the season this was. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
As the winners make their way up to the podium, one can only imagine the celebrations that will take place at McLaren tonight. Congratulations to everyone on the team, securing the win and proving that they're a force to be reckoned with out on the track.
I'm pleased to announce we have won the championship. We've done it. However, we do forfeit our World Drivers' Championship crown to Charles Leclerc. I was low-key deep down hoping I may have been able to steal it in the last race, but the gap going into it was like 17 points, which would have been really tough to turn around. But here is your final race classification. So we pick up a huge win. I wasn't actually expecting that. I don't think I was fastest over the race. I think I could do fast laps, but we just managed it beautifully. The right strategy, pit at the right time. Mercedes potentially threw it away by boxing Leclerc before Russell, which didn't make a lot of sense. And yeah, we'll take full advantage. Red Bull also getting the strategy wrong with the safety car, mixing things up. And yeah, Perez P6, Verstappen P8, Red Bull finish on a bit of a shocker. We pick up another W. Leclerc second, Russell third, Alonso the wild card in P4 with Norris P5. And to be fair, had Sainz not got damage early on, Ferrari was seriously quick and they were up there today in terms of pace. Norris also showing decent pace at the end and getting the job done. He had to hold on to P5 at least. And the reason I wanted him to go P4 is because I didn't think I was going to beat Leclerc. So I wanted Norris as high as possible to give us any chance of fighting. But standings, let's have a look then. So we finish second, 5 points behind Leclerc, so we just miss out on retaining our crown. Verstappen, who was, I believe, the leader going into this race, threw it away badly, and you know, it was a big hit. To be fair, we actually did overturn the 17-point deficit to Verstappen in the race, but the fact that Leclerc got second meant that we still couldn't get the job done. So it is what it is. Norris P4 finishes ahead of George Russell, so good to see Norris in 4th place and having his strongest season in the last year, and confirmation we pull off the miracle. 6-7 races in, at the halfway stage almost, it was looking really bad, and then we bring the B-Spec car to Silverstone and things change. Not immediately, the first race at Silverstone wasn't that great for the B-Spec car, but after that we started to find our form, go on a run, bring in the ultimate upgrades, and the car started to work. And as you can see, the fruits of the labour are to be shown as we pick up the championship. So what a season, guys. Honestly, we've had some banging career mode saves the last couple of years. Even on F1 22, we've had some really close seasons, and I don't, look to make things storyline. I just try and do the best I can. And I was hanging on for dear life, and now in hindsight, all of those P6s we had at the start of the season, trying to fight for every point possible, proved to be vital now as we had a better car at the end and we could fight for wins. So, yeah, job done, guys. Like the video. Let's try and smash over 1,000 likes on this championship finale, and this is now officially the season finale and the series finale because it's done. We've achieved our goal. We've won the Drivers' Championship last season. We won the Constructors this season, which was the one thing we had left. So the series is done. Guys, subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe. Help me out. Reach the 100k mark by the end of the year. We have about 3 more months to get that goal, and it's going to be close, but I'm hoping we can do it. But I'm going to need some help from you guys to subscribe and get me there. So, guys, cheers for watching. That is it for Season 3, and that is it for the McLaren Return to Glory. What's next? Who knows? But stay tuned, and there'll be something on the channel very soon. Guys, cheers for watching. As always, a big shout out to the members for supporting. Check out 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, and it's goodbye from me.